in that question, z is equal to 2y. 2y, right? First part, is it 2y? Yeah. So the part A, so you have to just put this in here, right? Why? Because the solution will satisfy the equation. So it's going to be 2y squared plus a plus bi times 2y over here plus bi is equal to 0. So it's going to be 4y squared plus, you can do 2ai plus 2bi squared plus bi is equal to 0. So now this is going to be minus 1, so it's going to be minus 4, plus I'm going to collect I terms. So 2a plus b, I, plus this is going to be minus, so 2b times minus 1, it's equal to 0. So you get real terms minus 4, minus 2b, right, that's a real term, plus 2a plus bi is equal to 0, right? So now this is complex, so you have the experience now. So this side 0 means what? 0 plus 0, right? So you can see real to real you compare 0, imaginary to imaginary you compare 0. So it's going to be minus 4, 2b is equal to 0, and 2a plus b is equal to 0. So you get a from here, you get b from here, that's it. Right? So now, what is a value, guys? What is a value? Shahan? Huh? 1. B?
Negative.
So this is what you have, right? Yeah. So you need to find the other solutions, right? So you can write this one, z minus 2y, and the other one is q of z. Polynomials, right? So long division, yeah? So if you do the long division, z squared plus 1 minus 2yz minus 2y, so divide by z minus 2y. So you should get z here. So whatever, you tell me the answer here, I'm not going to do it.
Z plus 1.
Right? So what are the solutions now? So z is equal to 2y and z is equal to minus 1. They are the solutions. Good. Any other question? Okay. So you don't have any problem there. Getting a good. But this I will post in here. Yeah. Start. right? This is going to be 3 minus x. So then, this distance is not given to right? So this is going to be now x, this is theta, right? This is going to be x sin theta. Yeah. This is x sin theta. This is x sin theta. Right? Okay, so there is x sin theta, this is going to be 2 minus x sin theta. Right? So, yeah, 2 minus x sin theta.
My first thinking is
What else is equal to?
this is 1 kilo.
No,
And
so
the system is
the system is in equilibrium, okay? The theta will actually show that sin theta is equal to 2 divided by 3. This is 9, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the right you have to find. I'm not sure the proof, but since like they would say that this whole length is 3, right? So when you get down, what was it? Sine of this angle, like it would be opposite of adjacent, which is 2 over 3, right? And then this would be like an isosceles triangle, but I'm not sure how you prove it as well.
As I can say,
My first thing is sine g is equal to 2 over 3, right? So like you would have to find that, but this entire thing would have to be 3, right? Then we have this angle created here. And to get this angle, this is a right angle triangle. Opposite of adjacent, which is 2 over 3, right? And then if this was an isosceles triangle, this would be the same, right? But I wasn't sure how you. That's what I'm trying to. Because I don't think there's a way to prove that. Some sort of geometry, some I couldn't.
I can't say that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because if I just assume that that's 3. Sorry, I wasn't sure.
See if it works. I'm trying to do it.
Wait,
No, that's why I tried to use the formula, but I just couldn't get anywhere.
This is theta, right?
Yeah, I think
This one, right?
yeah.
We have to get it geometry.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I thought so. I thought it was something to do with the equilibrium, but I don't know.
So done? this one? Huh? Part A, yeah. Done. Huh? Find the Cartesian equation. What is that?
But negative 2 minus 2i. Oh, sorry. Oh wait, plus 2i.
That's not Cartesian.
Oh, wait. No, minus 2i.
It's not Cartesian.
It's imaginary.
Done?
Maybe.
What is the answer?
So x plus 2 the whole square plus y squared is equal to 1.
Say again?
X plus 2 the whole square plus y is equal to
What's going
Yes, isn't it actually?
For this one?
Yeah.
That's not the mod.
Yeah, that's I was not sure of that.
Maybe you're right. Any other thing? Shashi,
I think you're right.
Maybe.
argument is given, right?
Yeah, it's
Argument is given. It's only the pi over 4 parts. Anyway. So
No,
it
no,
says
I-
argument. What is the argument, guys?
the angle.
Angle.
Angle of what?
Between.
Angle of z plus 2.
Yeah.
Right? Z plus 2 is a complex number in the Argand diagram. Argument is the angle, right?
So. That's what I think. Sorry, I think that's what I told you.
So argument of
I don't think
z
that-
plus 2 is equal to pi divided by 4, where z is equal to x plus I.
Yeah, so that's supposed to. So what's that? I don't know what the X was. What is supposed to do?
X is equal to x plus I, right? So then you x plus 2 plus I, right? Is equal to pi over 4.
Oh wait, because that's mod.
Why is it saying 1?
No, because if it's R, it's mod.
I'm not sure why it's that person. No, you literally said I at the end. So the argument is not the mod. That's the same as the angle.
Wait, then what do you do? Isn't what you do?
No, this guy just trying to equate to the mod.
Wait, so you're.
No, but it's still follows the. Remember, do you remember the locus? The
R
locus
is
mod?
the angle, yeah.
You're trying to do the locus mod. The mod.
X plus I, Y plus 2 is equal to R. So it's.
Like the mod of the whole thing behind the locus.
That's what I did though. Like,
That's what I did. That's what I did.
And from that I did try
No, it
and
would
find
be.
the theta though.
Alright, taking that. You don't have to find a theta value. Theta should be pi.
No, I'll just have to grab them. That should be right. So I'm solving for y and x.
Yes.
So is my equation just y equals 0? No, that's wrong. I thought it's y equals x plus 2.
That's wrong.
I thought y equals x plus 2 is exactly what I thought. So it's y equals x plus 2.
So is it y is equal to x plus 2?
It has to be y.
Huh?
Is it y is equal to x plus 2?
Okay.
Why did you say it?
It's cool.
Wow.
I have to,
Could've
but
looked so
I
responsible.
Okay, look at this. Now
Overcome.
x plus 2 plus iy is equal to pi divided by 4. So this is a complex number, right? So this is a comp number.
I don't know what I did after.
You understand or not? This is a comp number. Argument of this one is what? Angle, right? So it is given in xy form. So this left hand side can be written as tan inverse y divided by x plus 2. Angle, right? So this whole thing is an angle, right?
Yeah.
Angle of this guy. So angle of this guy would be. You understand what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this from here.
Yeah, yeah.
I did it a completely different way and I do it now.
No, I did the same thing.
So if once you are doing it, so you understand what is the argument, how to approach in Cartesian and all those steps. Very basic, right? So this you knowledge you should be able to calculate.
No, I know you can do it now.
Okay. Okay. So that is fine. So the B part. Now the what thing is coming?
No, because it's
Z minus 2y.
Why not use X minus 3 plus 1? Why did X minus 3 plus 1?
Actually of Z. Where Z is equal to X plus I y. Then you got this one. Huh? Because the reason is, if you have Z, then X plus I y, mod of Z is defined by X squared plus Y squared square. Arc of Z is defined by tan inverse Y divided by X. Why? Because in the Argand diagram you define it like this, Z. So this would be X, this would be X, this would be Y. So this is your angle theta. So this is imaginary, this is real. Right? So the argument of Z means they are talking about the theta. That is tan inverse Y divided by X. Right? Knowing that, you do this. Yeah. Is you all good? Understand? So you gain your weight or you lose your weight without your third leg.
What? Oh.
So he lost his third leg.
Oh, yeah. I completely was talking about the same thing. This is.
Okay.
So this is the one. So this is the other definition. Remember your definition was like what is the one equals x squared?
So imaginary of this one is y, right? Now this one x minus no, x plus I y minus 2 mod. So it's going to be x squared plus y minus 2 squared square root, right? So this is going to be y squared there. So now what? So it's easy, right? Y squared plus 4 minus 4y is equal to y squared. So y is equal to x squared divided by 4 plus 1. Is that the answer? Yeah. Okay. Now sketching part, you have to sketch those, right? So real imaginary. So my z, my u would be z plus 2. So angle would be pi divided by, so angle would be here. Right, so I would say this is pi divided by 4. What is my magnitude now, guys? So the magnitude of this one is what? Magnitude of this one. How much is the magnitude of this one? Right. So I'm in the U one. So in U, magnitude is what? It would be y squared plus x plus 2 square root, right? Yeah. So we call that as U magnitude. Now when it comes to here, what they're asking? sketch U and W
on an ordered line.
Yeah, that's not complete.
No, you just keep it. Because then you make x is equal to 1. If you make x is equal to the real value, y is equal to like minus 1. No? What is the imaginary and x equal to 0 value? Isn't that what we just did though? Actually, we just did that.
No, but this is arguing differences.
Arguing is only imaginary.
Yes,
Like complex numbers. Arguing can be anything. As long as it's complex.
Say it again. What is the question?
He's asking, can when you're drawing an arc diagram, can it be cis form or rectangular form? It can be either.
Why is it a problem when it comes to log and that?
No,
It does cis form as well as the Cartesian both are drawn in the other diagram. Because it doesn't really matter Cartesian and cis, you have items and real terms. Okay. So how do you draw U? How do you draw U? You understand the question, right? Do it quickly. Sketch U first. So U mod we found here.
that's W.
That's U.
Ah,
You found the U mod here. And you know the angle, right? So how it works now? Like that. Angle is 45. U mod is U mod, right? The specific XY values are not there, but angle should be 45.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you, when you write U1, do you just write that?
Yeah, you can have a substitution there, right? It's just
Of what?
U mod. Well, this one.
Oh yeah, so you just write that?
Yeah. But is that how you do?
I don't think that's the right way.
Why? Why not?
It's incomplete.
Because what is the knowledge you have here? You have the knowledge of this angle, right? You have the knowledge of this angle, pi divided by 4. So whatever the complex number here, because x and y is a variable, right? So if x and y are variables,
Oh, I can't change.
so having that 45-degree line, right? On that line, the x and y values can be anything.
That makes it much.
So whatever the x and y value on that line should satisfy that condition.
So should when you draw the mod, shouldn't it go to infinity?
Hmm?
Should the mod go to infinity? Because
Yeah. Theoretically, yes.
So there should be no point at the end.
This is finite, right? We are talking about the finite space. We are not talking about the infinite space. Yeah, technically, yes. Yes. Can go to infinity.
No,
X and Y can change.
But if you draw,
No, but the angle.
if you draw the thing like that, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Guys, if you draw it like that, it's wrong. Why?
That's from negative 2 on the x.
The mod is variable.
Huh?
The mod is variable.
No.
it's not.
What is this?
No point in that.
It's a Cartesian.
This is the equation of this beast. This beast is the U. So it should be like this, right? Starting from 2, it should be like this, having this angle 45. Right? Now, what we have to understand from our experience now, anything starting from here, right? Anything starting from here has the origin 0, 0. But do you have origin 0, 0 here? No. We are going to modify this. We are going to modify that. For example, if you need to draw z, how do you draw that?
Sir,
Hold on. If you want to draw z, how do you draw that? Starting from here, right? Right? Why? Because when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, you have a point there. But here, if you have x0, y0, x0, y, so x is equal to 0, y is equal to 2 here.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
If you send that line back to
plus 2. Where is z plus 2 on?
Oh, wait, I see what you mean.
That's
Actually,
a
no,
problem.
it's not. Yeah, wait, no.
That's the problem.
Because it's just like,
Would it translate up or sideways? That.
huh?
It's the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay, hold on. I understand this problem.
Yeah.
So your problem is you have a big problem. Why I am putting the 2 here?
And not starting.
Not there. Why I am putting the 2 here, right? Right? Okay. You tell me. Am I right or what? Both of us are talking is the same thing.
Because if the y-intercept is 2 anyways, so it does start at -2. That makes sense.
So you were looking at this, right? So what he was thinking, he was looking at this point and he see the x translation. X is equal to -2, right? So he was looking at this guy and he was scratching, said thinking why I put the point here. Extend it. It's a little small. So that. But if you plot y is equal to x plus iy, you have to understand that you have to start from here. Like 0, 0. Right? So in the exam, if you get something like z plus 2, z plus 2i, that means you are talking about your center point, your origin is different.
We'll start at.
Yeah? So your origin is here now, right?
Which is the line?
If it's
Because of that.
Not line is
Because of this translation, your origin point is changing.
So is the origin a -2 or 2?
Hmm?
Is the origin a -2 or 2?
You can take both.
You can take both as an origin.
Yeah. It's up to you how you define your origin.
So if you said z plus 2i, could you say that
Yeah.
that 2 is origin? You can't say that -2 is origin in z plus 2i. Oh, yeah.
C plus 2, that's a different story, right?
Isn't that just translating it up?
Vishal, you understand? Okay, so this bit is fine. So what about W? This is your U, right? This is your U. What about W? What is your W?
So when you draw the radius of u, do you draw an arrow at the end?
Okay.
So you know the radius of u?
Yeah.
When you draw like in an exam, would you draw the arrow at the
No.
end? You just do that?
It's not a vector there.
Oh, but like it extends.
Not a vector. Now the second one, W. What is the locus? Or what is the how do you draw W in complex group? Vishu, you understand? Huh?
I don't know, I feel like you just make x the real part and y was the variable one.
Yeah.
So we just did, that's what we, so just did that. So you should have known. Just draw a normal
Guys, I need you, W, quickly. A lot of things are there to do.
Was it Soviet parabola shape?
Parabola. What is W? U is a straight line, right? What is W?
Parabola.
Why?
Because x squared over 4.
Hmm?
X squared over 4.
That makes sense. Does that make sense? Because they are asking the complex number, right?
Nothing complex.
Okay. So you have to understand. That makes sense. It should be a parabola. This is one here. It should go like this, right? Yeah. Now, what would be our understanding? Let me teach you that. Like we have to summarize what we know now. Okay. So listen to me now carefully. Listen to me carefully. That's U is arc of z plus 2, right? Which is equal to pi divided by 4. That is given, right? W is z minus 2y mod is equal to imaginary of z, right? If you are looking at that, what is certain here? If you are looking at this first one, U, what is certain here?
So that's an angle of pi.
Huh?
That's an angle of pi.
The angle is certain, right? Yeah. So this. If you are looking at this, what is certain? Do you have an angle? Do you have a certain angle here?
No.
You have a certain mod, right? So you get this, right? So W is this, U is this. Now, this will tell you any point, any selected point here can be U, right? Or any selected point here can be W, right? So that's the meaning. So if you take any selected point here, suppose this is W1. If you select any point here, that would be W2. So W1 and W2 should satisfy what? Mod. Right? Should satisfy this condition. Are they going to satisfy the angle? No. You don't understand that. Similarly, if you take this point, U1 and U2, this one and that one should satisfy the angle, but not the mod.
Yeah. So where they intersect, is that the answer to the question?
No, I didn't see that. Express Z in terms of in the form of A plus BI, where AB should be expressed, correct?
So where those two lines intersect, is that the answer?
No.
Because then you got a mod and you got a mod and
Z that satisfies that condition, sir.
you got a mod and
Oh yeah, no.
So it should be where it's set.
you got a mod and you got a mod.
No, no, what do you do is you equal to.
That's what I said.
That's
but
what
it's
you
just
said.
saying.
Okay, same thing.
Okay, so answer to question number D. You have to express Z in the form of A plus BI. So you have to certainly find A and B's. Okay, how to do that? Give me the logic. Clear cut logic.
You use the Cartesian form of U, and make it into cis form. So that'll be -2 reduces pi and 4. Then you expand it out, it's -2 minus 2y.
So,
So that's D.
say again, say again. What is it? You took Z and what you did?
I use the graph a diagram of U, and then I found a modulus. No, wait.
As far as I heard, you are in a circle. You convert cis to Cartesian, Cartesian to cis. As far as I heard it. Right. Guys, give us deep thinking here, hey. Give us deep thinking. What?
Oh, it actually reminds me.
Dude, am I tripping? I'm not deep.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
No, somebody, that's not, that can't be that, that's simply a lot.
Oh, guys, understand what they're asking. Express z in the form of a plus bi. So you have to give 2 plus 2io, 1 plus 3i, doesn't matter, right? A b you have to find. Anyhow, you need to express z, right? So from where you initiate this? You have u and w, that's fine. So we have that in the Cartesian, in the Argand diagram as well. But how to find z properly? I know you know the answer.
I told you. Even 7, you can't factor that. Expand it. Expand what you got out.
Expand it. No.
Funny.
Okay, imagine.
You actually imagine a monkey. That means you get complex numbers.
Yeah, that's an idea. I've got that as well.
Wait.
Yeah, but really, this is
Huh?
wrong.
That makes sense.
And then you get set
Yeah.
up.
I can't explain my
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, squaring and then bringing it.
Isn't it?
Then expand
X minus 2 squared minus 4x plus 4.
I've got. I hear you.
How many answers you get, guys?
You get 2, but you should only get 1
Because what?
nothing.
Because
Because nothing.
Yeah, you can get.
Wait, no, but it starts from 2.
Oh wait, no.
Wait.
Oh, because
It's not substitution. It's substitution.
yeah, because it's not.
It's a common anyway. Because it's
Oh no, because it's the Cartesian equation starts at any point.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, that's what
Then you got it.
So
Guys, look, this is so easy. I mean, here you plot it, right? What else you can think of? Aman, here you plot it, right?
Yeah.
What else you can think of here? Nothing. It's just a stupid plot. You have u here, you have w here, the locus of those two complex numbers, right? Now, if you need to find z, right? What is this here? The locus of the parabola, and the other one would be y is equal to 2, y is equal to x plus 2. Right? What is z here? What is z actually? Here. X plus iy. Right? So to find z, what do you need to find? X and y. So you have two equations given. Right? So, and this makes sense. Why? Because since this is a parabola, you can see the meeting points. One is here, one is here. Right? So those 2 points are corresponding to x and y common points, right? So you can find x and y from here. Once you find x and y, you just put it here.
Why do you get plus
2 plus or minus 2.
Wait, this guy's got 8.
Did it make sense?
Wait, so once you get the a plus a and b,
A and B. That's just where we find y.
Just do the AB and the X value. Just
Put the x value and put the y.
what? Put
Okay, give me the answer. So from here,
Just make this cube.
okay, from here, now you can do those two. So what I do, x plus 2 is equal to x squared divided by 4 plus 1. So it's going to be x squared. So this is going to be minus 4x. Minus 4 is equal to 0, right? So x would be 4 plus or minus b squared. 16 minus 4 is
It's not 60 minus
No, it's not
16.
60 minus 16. That's 32. 4 plus minus root b squared 16 minus 1. Plus 16.
Minus
It's 16 plus 16.
It's 16 plus 16.
Yeah, so it's 36.
So it's 16 plus 16.
Yeah.
Huh?
Root 16 plus 16.
yeah. So 32, right?
Yeah. Root 32.
There's two different solutions.
You write two different forms, you write two different equations. You have two different complex numbers.
Yeah.
So that means you can only get one answer. It's only asked for one of the answers. You're looking for this you're looking for this one.
Yeah.
Because Dr. Lee said so.
So why so z would be
You've already done it. You've already done it.
So it's this.
They want to express the decimal, so did
So-
they get a calculator?
Are you supposed to show both
Yeah,
equations?
what else you want to
Yeah.
I was thinking about this.
So is this one a calculator, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it's not too
Roots of unity. Come on. It's a plus.
these are real good questions, okay?
For Shannon contribution.
I'm going to upload this anyway.
I'm actually.
So okay, right?
Wait, no, it's not.
Hmm?
It's in.
Yeah, u bar, okay?
It's not possible, it's not physically possible to become an IT.
Yes.
Otherwise they wouldn't ask that question.
That's not Cartesian problem.
You can't get it. You
I know that's what I'm saying. You have to convert.
No, it just says.
It's just something. It's just.
What do you mean by? No, I just, I don't know.
So is that U bar?
U bar.
Yeah.
Put it over one. One. Again,
Oh yeah, yeah.
How do you open that?
I feel like a retard right now.
So it's case u bar in Cartesian.
You are.
He's gonna put minus
So first one, u
minus
bar.
3.
No, it's minus 1 plus 4.
I told you. No, that's what we said, bro.
Huh?
What? That's what you say?
Minus 1 plus root 3, yeah. It's Cartesian.
Yeah, that's not Cartesian.
How do you forget this?
What's the problem?
Wait, so was the answer of A that?
Yeah.
Cartesian?
Huh?
Does that count as Cartesian?
Otherwise what?
What's the difference? It's just a different complex number.
Yeah, so it
So
is
then
not,
why wouldn't the first one be complex? The one that they gave us.
there is incarnation to here?
Stay. Oh, I didn't see the bar. No, the bar is the
Express z minus u bar, okay? In the form of this, where this.
Actually, what's u? Let's say u bar.
So V1.
Zero, you're actually.
One, negative one minus square root.
No, that is the one on the U bar.
Exactly what I'm.
So this is going to
The
be
U bar in the second line is
c square
Whoever drew that.
minus u bar c
Stupid. I didn't
minus
care.
uz
I don't care. I don't care.
Plus
I
U.
disconnected, I don't care.
right? So this is going to be
Go on,
z square minus, right? So u bar plus u, z plus u bar. So you know from top u bar is equal to minus 1 minus square root 3i minus 1 plus square root 3i. So these two gone. So it's going to be minus 2. So u bar would be minus 1 squared minus square root 3i squared. So it's going to be 1 minus 3i squared. So it's going to be plus, it's going to be 4 here. So you get z squared minus u bar is going to be minus 2, it's going to be plus 2z plus 4. That's it.
Yeah, I got the answer different.
Well, I guess u squared plus
Then-
Actually, we got the difference.
Okay, so now we know ABC, right? ABCs. Express u in the form of RCSR. So u is equal to, so in the sys, right? So in the sys, so it's going to be 2 so this is cos theta, this is going to be sin theta. So
I'm so smart.
cos all sine all this one, right? So it's going to be
Minus
yeah. So it's pi here. So you add pi plus, so it's going to be cos pi divided by 2. Right. So guys, are you looking what I'm doing here? Okay.
I told you why.
If u and u bar are roots of the equation Pz is equal to 0, what is Pz?
Complex conjugate.
Find the other roots. So it's this piece, right?
Yeah.
Okay. My other question. Can you use complex conjugate theorem here? Root,
Yes.
conjugate root theorem here.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Why?
There's no complex.
There is no complex
imaginary number in the coefficients.
There are no complex coefficients
Yes.
in the polynomial, so you can use it. Are they using it?
Yes.
They are automatically using it, right? You can see u bar here. So you get this. So do this, okay? So your penmanship is very important. It's just not understanding it, just do it. That will help you in the exam. Otherwise, I have seen people, they do chemistry in head, math in head, biology in head, but they don't know how to write. Okay? This is Q of Z now. So this one is what?
What you wrote in
It's already
base.
there.
Yeah, it's what she ready to be.
Then you just.
So we just divide it. Oh my god, I'm so smart.
Yeah, it's a long division, right? So long division. So let give me the answer. Aman, give me the answer quick.
Oh, it's negative 2.
Huh?
Negative 2. Oh, no. I didn't do I didn't do long division. I found the other one. Then you just sub in values instead. You give a substitution of values the whole time.
It's Z plus 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Someone, wait, show me.
Long divide.
No, it's not. I'm long divide.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm a long zone.
I'm not even long division. I mean, to be fair, I mean, what happens if I'm like, there's a wet word number? He's standing there for like half an hour and he does it.
Okay, so that part is fine. E. Okay? On the Argand diagram, plot U. U is what?
Wait.
B and C correspond is BC. Three roots.
Oh boy. I'm just copying because I don't know.
On the Argand diagram, plot the points UBC. Okay, on the Argand diagram, those are the points UBC corresponding to the three roots. PZ is equal to 0. So U represents this, C represents this. So B should represent Z plus 2. Right? So how do you plot that? Okay, try that.
Just hold it.
Try that.
Which part's B?
Hold the place. It literally sucks.
What does it say B?
They give you U, they give you C. What you think
What's
is
C?
What's C?
C is the
UBC are
compass.
3, all the rest of T is equal to 0.
All B and Z are just okay.
What's C?
That is a lot of reading.
Yeah, that's the next part. The next part.
The unit vector question.
Are we doing D or E?
E.
That's a lot of reading.
Actually,
So what's B? Oh, is B the third part, yeah? Facts. Facts for facts. She's one. Side degree. So Z equals negative C. Negative 1 plus 3 or 3.
do we have to show the mod as well?
One.
Huh?
Do you have to show the mod?
And it's oh man.
What is easy, right?
Yeah. Right now, just wait.
What is 2, right?
The unit vector. You wrote it down.
You've already found it. Oh my god. That's what I'm used to.
What?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening.
I'm about to think the one person make mine simple.
I'll do it then. I don't even know if it's like
So cool.
Wait, so can you spell out the country? You know,
Look at C.
this is the
You
E.
don't really need it.
Z is the minus 2.
Can I read?
You just
okay.
say, oh.
Yeah.
C is this one. You work that is.
So first of all, give me U and C. Pretty straightforward.
Easy money. Let I do the unit vector. Okay, 6, 6, 6. I do the unit I and J now. J.
The other one's only at license. Exactly.
You start.
What's the paragraph in E asking us to do?
It's just telling you what to do.
Yeah, wait.
That's fine.
It doesn't really say anything.
It
So
just
the
tells
second
you,
paragraph you went?
it just tells
Yeah.
you what to do.
Okay, forget about that. Do the first one.
Oh, I did it. Wait.
You read that? Show me.
Just what? That's so easy.
Oh, you can't see it.
I can see. I'm not that old.
Let me see.
Wrong.
I did it big.
Am I tripping?
Am I flipping? It says 2 there. I mean,
You put a negative 2. Wait, what do you do this? Dude, I got this. Oh, yeah, B is there. I'm drawing vector B, C, and
You know, so he said
I've already done that.
No, you haven't. Oh, I drew the points.
Guys, read the question carefully.
So it's just plot the points, right? Other than excluding these lines, which are the vectors, it's right, right?
Read the question. Plot the points.
Yeah, that's what I did. I plot the points, but this is just vectors. Vectors are there for next.
So you don't have the line sheet?
Yes, you don't. Oh my god. I know. Oh my god. Oh my god.
No, because it says, it only says points.
So show me the points.
I think each of these should be equally spaced out.
Show me the points. Where is B?
There should be 60 degrees.
That's only if it's. Yeah, it's 60.
That's all the solution. Wait, is this right? Well, if it's proper, then you should.
Because z is equal to 2 and z is equal to
Ah.
z is equal to negative 2.
Yeah, right.
Aman, you understand now?
Yes.
Ah.
Wait, B is just negative 2.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Wait,
So it should be the-
wait, why is it?
Read the question properly. So they say PZ is equal to 0.
Yeah.
So this beast is 0 then.
Yeah.
So then Z is equal to U bar,
On the penis, on the penis.
U and minus 2. So U would be,
Salmon.
someone is here, something is here, and the other one is should be here. So
No, wait.
Yeah.
So what is this one over here? Is it U or U bar? I know this is 2 here, minus 2. This is B point, okay?
Yeah.
So what is this point?
Yeah.
U? This is U bar, right? Yeah. So that's the point.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
You can't plot these points if you don't have this condition.
Yeah.
Because you understand Z is equal to minus 2 and this U bar is complex already. Right? Terry, you got it?
Wait, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. But like, why are those values not equally spaced out?
Yeah, okay.
Why?
Why are those points not equally spaced out around the circle?
Because if you're plotting it for PZ, which has z to the power 3, right, then all the points should be spaced out by 60 degrees.
Good question. Good question. Okay. So understand what he's asking? He's asking between these three, right? Between these three, like they are not equally spaced. They are not equally spaced, right? Still, we have 0 to the power 3 there.
B was a positive 2 makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If B is positive 2, then
If B is
A positive 2 would make sense.
Oh, wait, maybe I just did it right.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You should. That's not good.
oh no, this is right.
Oh, okay.
So why is it
Shashi, understand what he's asking? What do you think? Why it is not equally spaced in this case? Dini, think why it is not equally spaced? Good question.
Oh, is it because there's no complex? There's no complex coefficient? No complex coefficient.
It's not like that, right?
Yeah.
Even without complex coefficients, like Z3 is equal to 8. Still you have that, right? Why? You understand? It's a very good question. I mean, no one is going to ask that question, okay? It's just for your self-clarification and to understand the material better.
Imagine yourself asked.
Why, Aman, why? Shadi? That happens if you have Z8 is equal to 8i, Z3 is equal to 8i. If this Z is alone only, you have additional terms here.
That's what I was thinking. No, actually, it
True.
was.
If you have additional terms, that symmetry is not there. For example, I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. Look, I'll give you an example. You know, x squared plus y squared is equal to 4. So if that happens, this is a thing like this, right? Now I'm going to do x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to 4. What will happen? This will go somewhere, right? Yeah? So from here, you can see the symmetry, see? But from here, can you see symmetry? It's not. Now how do you understand in this point of view? Now, you simplify this. When you simplify this, you get x squared. From here you get y squared. You get additional terms, minus 2xh, minus 2ky, plus h squared plus k squared is equal to 4. See, due to these additional terms, you are breaking the symmetry. Make sense? Additional terms break the symmetry. That's a good question. So that's why in the exam or anywhere, if you see this kind of a thing only, you see the symmetry. Otherwise, if you have additional terms, you break it.
It's not wrong.
There's a complete scope of around that. Like you get on you probably don't have
What's the number form of E? It's like 2.71 something.
Oh, let me tell you.
You have to understand, guys.
You can make a symmetrical.
Guys, do you understand now? This lesson, these questions are 3-4 questions you guys are doing.
No, it's 5, 6.
Textbook you don't have questions. Right? So these are 3-4 questions you are doing 1 year before, more than 1 year before.
Oh wait, so it's not.
Huh?
So it's not from textbook. It's like from textbook.
So why I am putting the textbook into my tube?
That makes sense.
Okay, now next one.
BC dot BU.
Yeah, exactly.
I need a unit vector in the positive way. Okay. Now this complex number is related to vectors.
I mean, yeah, but in the vectors part is not that.
Yeah.
It's just BC dot BU.
In my book.
Okay. Do the vectors part, guys. Let I be the thing
So you make every factor.
the positive is integral. The complex number you
Yes.
can be
If
represented
it's going
by
R way, then it's always a negative this.
Yeah. But you have to change also one factor.
No,
Yeah.
no, because in the positive direction you can define it. So that's why you have minus I, minus root 3i,
Yeah.
and minus 1.
Yes.
All
Use the
these
vector
numbers
method
define
to
each
show
other.
that BC makes the angle of this one D. Okay guys, do this quickly.
Okay, okay, man.
Second part.
BC
Can't see?
No, I can't see.
You can't see, come here.
This makes sense like right across the road.
Yeah, the one you good.
I did, that's why I got these, but he always. You know my dad's
What do you think
was
after? What do you think
like
after?
yeah, this is like a piece of glass costs like $1,000. That's stupid. What's how they were made on YouTube? It's like crazy. It's like crazy. Like, there's like 4
Vishu,
million.
you got it right? Yeah, so far, so good. Now vector, see?
Oh, wait, no.
Back row junior people should be in front next time. Okay? So juniors la pitch no. Okay? So I can't let that happen. You know, in some classes, juniors, they what do you call it? No Indian people here, right? So when I speak in my language, you can't understand. That's why I was looking at Indians. What do you call it? What do you call it?
What?
Whistling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, some people whistle in the class.
Remember when flying, like for flying sounds, used to be like one big thing in front of you? Yeah, you do like
If someone did that in my class, that's it.
just whistle back.
Hmm? They whistle for no reason.
I should probably Wait. Then,
No.
does it make a diamond?
What?
Does it make a diamond?
I mean, yes, I guess.
So then,
You don't
just
need
use
to
the first two vectors?
Bro, just use the graph from each.
No, but what I'm saying is, you can use this one, translate it up to make it this one. You can use this one, translate it up to this one.
Just find what BC is and
You
find
need
what
to find what
BC
BC is.
Dude.
I'm saying, no, look, I'll actually tell you. So this is a diamond, right?
Yeah.
It's a symmetrical diamond. I'm pretty sure. So that means this one is equal to this one.
Yeah.
This one is equal to this one.
Yeah.
So you need to figure out these two.
Okay, first plot that
Yeah,
and
Just do it.
Nah, what page?
Alright, so give me 2 points.
That means some other guy would just later on.
Sharman, you speak Bengali?
Yeah.
You do?
Oh, you?
Yeah, I got it.
How is OU minus I minus root 3J? Huh? So, where's U on this graph?
How would you group that as a
Yeah.
So what was it?
How would you
Is it
group
what was it? So this is you, right?
Yeah.
This is already because you could. It's already position.
Yeah. But tell me why it is minus I
Can
minus root 3J.
Because
plus 3J.
It should be minus I plus 3J.
This one is negative. It's negative x, negative 1.
So why is it minus I minus root 3J?
9 degrees away from the thing.
Dude, everything works out fine this time.
Okay, yes, sir.
It works out fine. There's two possibilities, so why is it only 2 pi? Because it could be 4.
No,
Ah.
so then, this is
Oh, wait, that's C. Yeah, that's B.
So tell me that
Same thing. That's C, that's U.
So that's-
that's
yeah.
U.
OU, so U was on the top half, right? It was a positive, it was The y value was
You guys told me, I didn't pay attention.
No. I'm just saying, like, u was on the, like, the positive side of the x-axis.
Yeah,
You use it.
so it was like this.
You didn't get it right, you didn't get the result back then.
U is there.
No, it's here.
So this is going to be minus 1 plus square root 3. So minus 1 square root 3. I don't know whether it's u or u dash.
U represents minus 1.
No, I think this is u dash, right?
And z represents all.
Yeah,
that is u dash.
That's not. Yeah, that's
Minus 1 minus square root 3.
Oh, on a page.
Oh, that's the coordinates.
This is u.
No, it makes sense then, it makes sense.
Yeah. So this is o. So yeah. So now look, they want to convert this Cartesian, the Argand diagram, into a vector diagram, right? So in Cartesian, what do you have? XY. In Argand diagram, what do you have? Real, imaginary. Argand. In vector diagram, what do you have? IJ. So they are going to relate that. So minus 1 plus I square root 3, that is going to be u bar, right? So here minus 1 minus I square root 3, that's going to be u. So this is going to be real, this is going to be imaginary. Now if you convert that into I and j, right? So it would be this, where you have OU bar vector, and here this should be OU vector. So at this point you have the coordinate minus 1 minus square root 3. Here you have the coordinate minus 1 plus square root 3. Okay, you see that? You see that? So this is the conversion, complex to Cartesian essentially, right? So Ij also Cartesian, right? Right? X is taken as I, Y is taken as J, yeah? So this is that. So what do you need to find?
Angle between BC and
B?
BC and BU.
yeah.
So B is here, right?
See, I told you.
B is here, right? So you need to find this angle?
Yeah.
Yeah? So this is, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
C.
What do you need to find?
BC.
Wait, Simon,
BC and V.
if we just do this
The
right?
vector method
So
show
the
that
I-
BC.
Instead of negative I, it would be I plus, and then, yeah.
I mean, as long as you prove it through.
What is C, guys?
Yeah, and then, yeah.
It's negative.
So this is C, yeah?
3.
This is C over here.
Yeah.
So you need to find this. So what is this vector now?
No, I read the question. I read the question of this one being U and this one being C. It's easy. It was easier than the rest.
I got this.
So this one is OB, yeah? So what is OB vector now? So OU vector, OU bar vector, so that is going to be minus 1 I, right, plus square root 3j. You understand how you perform that there? So what is OB vector now?
So could I go to 12?
Huh?
Could I go to 12?
Minus 2.
OB vector minus 2i. So, okay, that is fine. So you need to find this theta, right? So what do you do? OB vector dotted with OU bar vector, and that is going to be equal minus 2i dotted with minus 1i plus square root 3j, right? So you can see from here, what is the answer? Huh? Plus 2, right?
Yeah.
Plus 2, and with the definition of this dot product, you get OB vector magnitude, OU bar vector magnitude, cos theta, right?
Yeah.
Right? So you get from here 2 is equal to this. So now you tell me, you have to understand, like you have to be, you know, up to date. Otherwise, everything is going to be correct, connected. Okay? 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 So what is OB magnitude here, guys? What is OB magnitude, guys? Tarik, what is OB magnitude? I know you bar magnitude.
Wait, sir, why are you finding it in terms of RB and RU?
Actually,
The question's asking
it says to
BC.
do in terms of BC and P.
What is OB magnitude and OC bar magnitude? Those arrows, what are the values there?
OB is 2.
OU bar magnitude?
Should be two because it's okay. The magnitude was
10? Why?
Yeah, RU is 2.
No, the thing should be two because we worked it out before.
Okay, Aman, stop. What is OB bar, OB magnitude and OU bar magnitude? Why these two?
Square root of x plus. I mean, square root
Huh?
of x.
Yeah, modulus, but how do you do that? How do you find modulus? In complex or in vectors? Huh? But I am asking a vector here.
That is.
Yeah.
Both the same.
Hold on.
Why you don't?
I want him to stuck. I'm asking the same question in two different ways, and I want him to stuck. Next year, if I die, you are not going to get this benefit, okay? 100% I'm telling you. Okay, if you really want to really do it. So what you learn now, learn it now. It's going to be 2, it's going to be 2. And don't expect these kind of questions doing at this stage, right? I'm clearly saying that. Take the advantage.
So are you supposed to do BC dot BU or not?
Huh?
The question says show BC makes an angle with BU.
Oh, same here.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, BC.
that's what I
So wouldn't you just remove the negative I and make it positive I? Because it's a
Let's see.
symmetrical angle.
So BC, this one, right? This one, right?
Yeah.
So what is BC now? What is BC?
I plus 3j.
I plus
Root 3j.
So BC is making 2.
Huh? What?
I plus
plus
root
root
3j.
So let's figure out what BC is.
Yeah.
So BC is just
Half of it.
What?
I plus root 3j.
the result, which is the angle between.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys know how to do this?
Yeah.
Shannon? BC?
Getting unit vectors.
Huh? What? You want to come here? Don't make me mad, okay?
Yeah.
I don't care. Do the thing right. These people, I told you 100 times that these people are like ahead. Anoop is finished the syllabus. He's doing papers, see? He's doing full papers. He's in year 11, he finished the syllabus. He's doing full papers. He's doing more complicated things. And he's contributing because of that. You guys are the people who are learning here. This guy is done, this guy is done. And these two are like focused here. I don't want any shit in the class. Take this in a good way. If you take it in a bad way, you are going to spoil your life, not myself. because this is not selective school or something, right? This is BCE. This is your life. So you guys are the people who should concentrate here, because you guys are the new people. These people know this anyways. They are correcting me too. I was doing it wrong and they are correcting me. And he's giving me the answer I plus 3, square root 3 plus j, and my mentality is matching with him and I am putting it on the board. And you guys are dancing around. They will learn. Is that the purpose? Okay. So BC is equal to I plus square root 3j. Why? Because it's because of that.
It's because it's a symmetrical diamond.
Huh?
You can just say
Yeah, it's BC, right? C minus B.
Yeah. It's just a symmetrical.
Yeah. Okay, so now what?
Then BU.
BC makes an angle with this BU. Okay. What is BU?
The bottom one.
B.
This is U minus B.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, what is BU now?
I minus root 3j.
Huh?
Yeah, I minus root 3j.
I.
Minus root 3j.
BU, right? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So B is the
So this coordinate is x, right?
negative.
X is equal to negative 2, 0, right?
Yeah.
So this minus that, yeah.
Yeah.
So now you need BC dot BU. So that would be I plus square root 3j dot I minus square root 3j, right? So, and this one is BC magnitude, BU magnitude cos theta. So this one is 2, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it 2? It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. So this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So this right, this is right here. So it's going to be 2 here. It's going to be 3.
Isn't that negative?
One.
Negative.
So it's going to be 4, yeah?
Negative 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
No, it's negative 2. It's negative 1
Oh wait, no. Small minus 3.
1 minus 3, yeah?
Yeah.
Negative 2, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be now 4 cos theta is equal to negative 2. So cos theta is equal to what? Negative half. So theta is what?
2 pi over 3 or
Huh?
4
2 pi over?
3 and
Three.
4 pound.
But theta is large, right?
What?
Theta is this, right?
Well, it could be either.
Why?
Well,
There's
it's I asked for 2 pound 3.
Yeah.
If you ask
What is the other one?
4
4
pi.
pound 3
4 pi?
on 3.
And then it goes to infinity because there's no domain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at the diagram.
Right.
The diagram is restricted to 0 to 3 pi, yeah?
Yeah, it can.
Because you can't have, yeah, because this angle is finite. You can't say this angle is 2 pi plus something, right? Because this is a finite angle which is less than 360 anyways, because of the diagram, right?
It's less than 2 pi as well.
Yeah. So you got 4 pi divided by 3, what is that value? And 2 pi divided by 3 is what? That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
Why these two, these are the answers, okay? So now you tell me why these two make sense. Shannon. Why those two answers make sense?
because 2 prime 3 is the inside angle, and 4 prime 3 is the outside.
Because what is the dot product? You are projecting one vector onto other. Right? See? Dot product is this one. You are projecting this one into here. That is dot product, right? You can dot these two like this way, or you can dot this one other way. Right? So that's why both are valid there. Right? If they are strictly asking the small one, you have to pick the small one. Yeah, but that is how we do the math, yeah? All good. Okay, any complaints?
Mister, would you not get 4 marks for that question if you didn't list that 4 prime 3?
Because this is not an exam question, right?
No, okay.
Because in the exam question, they will specify
No, okay.
what exactly you need to present. This is just to, give you the understanding.
Well, what do you mean by specify exactly what you need to present?
They might tell you like theta is
They won't give it away.
theta is less than this or whatever.
So if you just from 0 to pi or something.
Or the smallest possible
I
angle.
mean, you should be able to infer that it's asking for the small.
No,
yeah.
you just
Yeah. Okay.
Just
So, yeah, so they are mainly looking at 2 pi divided by 3 actually, right? So, but theoretically, mathematically, you can have the other angle as well. Yeah. Okay. So now, the second question I will leave for homework. Second question is another good question. Okay, I'm going to send this to you today. So you have so many parts here. So if you can understand these, so start your revision from now. These are very good questions. Now next one, the last part of the vector lesson, collinearity I'm going to discuss. And the next day, what I'm going to revise is the vector questions. Independence, dependency, collinearity, all the questions are going to be discussed like this. Okay. So,
Doing the best independently?
Yeah.
Doing independently? Yeah, we did.
we did.
Yeah.
Dependence, independence, we did. No?
Yeah, we did.
We did.
The theory we did.
Yeah, we did.
Collinearity. Write down the topic. What do you mean by collinearity? Co-linear. There will be a question in specialist math paper next year from independence and dependency and that, right? And in Melbourne High Sachs, on this they will kill you. 100% they will kill you. These days, people, there are some,
They get, some of the students are getting angry at Dr. Shin for the way he's making the tests.
Yeah.
Even our tests are hard enough.
So,
Oh yeah, because you're giving.
okay, so you are in the next queue to the slaughterhouse. Okay, but anyways,
At least the exam would be.
and those questions are extremely hard,
Yeah.
right? Extremely hard. That's why you guys get the scaling too,
Yeah.
right? But you have to face it, right?
I don't want.
Okay, collinearity. Now, so what is collinearity? Collinearity means 3 vectors in one single line.
Same direction.
In math, you don't have proper definitions to write like biology, right? So collinearity means 3 vectors in one single line. It's like this. So you can say collinearity means 3 vectors on the same line. Just write down that in your word. Okay, so now let's do the business here.
Yeah. Does it have to be 3 or is it more than 2?
Minimum 3.
Minimum 3.
Is this like 3D vector?
No.
No, 3D vector, no, it's not a 3D vector. It can be a 3D vector, but any three vectors can have in a line, right? For example, like this is a 3D vector, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Why this is a 3D vector?
No.
Yeah, this is 3D vector. Why? Because this is 3D space.
Right.
Right? This is 3D space, this is a 3D vector. So if your origin is 0 here, how do you define this point? Xi, Yj, Zk, right? How do you convert this into a 2D vector? You present this one on the board. Board is a 2D plane, right? Board is a 2D plane. So if you put here like an arrow, that arrow is on the 2D plane, so that's why you have X and Y. The Z component is outward to the board, right? So it can be any vector. So now for example, this is a 3D vector, right? This is another 3D vector, isn't it? Right? So I'm going to have another 3D vector here, but it will be like this, okay? From here to here, right? Now, can you see, if you connect this tip to tip to tip here, can you see those three tips can be on the same line? Right? That is called collinearity. So the collinearity holds true even for three-dimensional vectors.
So I thought it would be like a vector and then a vector and then a vector. So
That is vector addition.
I thought it was like you put. I thought it'd be like this and then you put this on top of that.
Yeah.
I thought that would be collinearity.
Huh?
That'll be on something.
So is this collinearity or is this
We're
collinearity?
talking about the same thing, right?
Is it?
Look. Look at this diagram. Now, suppose this is your origin, right? O, A, B, C. Yeah? So suppose OA is A vector, OB, suppose this is C. This is B. So this is B vector. Now this is OC, C vector. Right? So A vector, C vector, B vector, so those are the tips, right? Those three tips should be on the same line. You can represent that in a different way. You are right. If you get this vector and that vector, you can see these vectors are parallel and on top of each other. Tip to tip connection. You can describe the collinearity the way you are defining it, or you can define it the way I am defining it. But both of us are talking about the same thing. You understand the point?
Yeah, so that means
Okay, how many vectors are there? You tell me.
why?
Huh?
Why?
In this description, yeah, there are 5 vectors, right? But is there any other way of how many total number of vectors you can get here?
6.
6. How come?
Yeah, just do
This one, this one, this one, and A, B, the whole thing can be another vector too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to show that, but anyhow, this is what it is. All good? Now, what is AB vector? Terry, what is AB vector? Given that OA vector is A, OB vector is B, these two vectors are given to you. Now, with your knowledge, tell me what would be the AB vector? I know you know. How do you do that? You can do it in less than a second. You can do it in less than a second. Now, learn that technique. How to do that? Shashi, you know that? How do you find it? That is. Oh, you meant simple B minus simple A?
Yeah,
Oh, how? Why?
because of vector addition,
Vector?
like subtraction.
Okay. So if you have these little guys, so this is what is this? This is AB. Can you see this vector addition? A vector plus AB is equal to B vector, and AB vector is equal to B minus A vector, like that. Right? And the shortcut would be, if you have AB, first you minus from B, that means B means OB, yeah? OB, A vector means OA. This is the shortcut. OB vector minus OA vector. So what is OB vector? B minus this. That's the shortcut. You have to have that handy. Otherwise, like how we discuss these kind of questions later. Yeah. Okay. So AB vector is this now. Let AC vector is equal to M times AB vector. Right? Let AC vector is equal to M times AB vector. Now you tell me why, Shannon. Can you tell me why I am putting this? AC vector is equal to M times AB vector. So once I read this, once I put this on the board, right? What is your logical thinking? Why I am putting it, and is there any logic involved? And what is M?
Is M?
Huh?
What does M stand for?
Aman is stupid, okay? So don't take his word. I'm sorry.
What does M stand for?
Huh?
Constant.
Don't help them, okay? I know you know. Aman. Because otherwise down the road they are going to be in a big trouble, right?
Is that like a ratio kind of thing?
Okay. Aman.
It's parallel.
That's why I told you don't do it. I know you know, right? That's parallel. AC is parallel to AB. AC is parallel to AB. What is M then? Aman.
It's constant.
Due to what?
Like, if you just multiply it by AB, you get AC.
That constant is what?
It's a scalar.
Yeah. Less than 1. Okay. AC is equal to M. D. Oh. Okay, AC is this. Now, what is OC, guys? What is C vector? OC, yeah? What is that? Now, how do you calculate that, Terry? OC, how do you calculate? C minus O, right? Right? Isn't it? Is it C minus O? OC is C, but how do you write OC? Please do these, okay? Please do day-to-day work. Otherwise, when it comes to next year, right, you can be so good, but I have worked with so brilliant students, marvelous students I had. I have worked with them. Still they are struggling when it comes to the paper. I can tell you those students are 10 times better than you guys. previously, okay? Currently everyone is struggling because everyone is getting the training, right? So don't give me that pressure next year. Because this is not like grade 7, 8, 9 math. I can take their pressure, but I can't take your pressure, right? I can't hold your pressure. You have to hold your pressure. So next year, so many things are coming up. So not so many things, limited syllabus, but you can see the variations in the questions, right? Even methods. Some people are struggling methods more than specialists because of the variation of the questions, right? Those questions are little tricky. That's how it is. So yeah, OA plus AC. Now, what is OA, guys? A. What is AC, guys? What is AC? A. M times AB, yeah? Terry, got it? Yeah, from here, okay? Yeah? Now, what is AB, guys? What is AB? M times? B minus A. This is C. So that's the condition. So this condition should hold true if the collinearity is if collinearity holds true. Collinearity means, okay, look again. Collinearity means 3 tips should be on the line plus this condition should hold true, right? Where m is a constant, right? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, what's the time now?
So, isn't that essentially like dependency? Because you can represent C in terms of the other vectors.
Yeah.
So that's also.
So that's the goal, right? The goal is to find this C, right?
For example, isn't this linear dependency?
Linear?
Dependency.
Yeah.
Oh. But then.
We are not talking about linear independence here. We are talking about collinearity. Right. So linear dependent, right? Collinear condition to have collinearity. Condition to have a collinearity. First condition is what? Should be in one line. What should be? 3 points. 3 points should be in one line. Second one? What is the second one? Second one, this condition should be satisfied. C is equal to A plus M B minus A. So now you might think whether you need to remember this. No. I never remember it. No one can remember these things, right? You should have the skill to get it very quickly, right? This is a very simple diagram here. Make sense, everyone? Yeah. So this is the condition to have the collinearity, right? So the 2 conditions. Now let's go to the dependency and independency and have a little bit of chat there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right.
Is collinearity with only 3 points, or can it be with more points?
It can be with more points.
So how would the formula change?
You tell me. Nothing to do. There is nothing to do. I'm not asking the specific formula, but you tell me the idea how to do that. It's a good question. Very good question. But what is the thinking? If you give me that initiation, I would say yes. I will pass you. There is nothing to do. If you have 4 points, look guys, if you have 4 points, how do you make sure those 4 points are collinear? So good question Aman is asking. 3 points we proved, right? It's very easy, right? If you have an extra point, I mean, how many number of vectors you are introducing? So many vectors, right? Because there is a, originally you are having a vector and then sub-vectors also coming on top, right? What I'm saying is this. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if your origin is here, this. Earlier we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we are introducing 7, 8, whole thing 9. Right? So now you have to deal with 9 vectors, which is seemingly impossible. Right? And if you want to extend that idea to the 5th vector, so you are going to have the 5th vector and you have 5 points, right? So how do you extend this collinearity idea to the 4th place or the 5th place? It's a good question, very good question. Very simple. Answer is very simple. You will kill yourself if I tell you the answer.
Just check the front line.
Don't you just find that and then check if it works with another pair as well?
What do you mean?
So you did this with 3 for one pair. So you disregard one once you find it, and then you do another 3.
That's it. So you do the checking for this,
You miss out on something.
right?
Oh, yeah.
You make sure those 3 are collinear, right? So if those 3 are collinear, you can select the other 3 and make sure they are collinear, right? If the first pair is collinear, the right word he used, if the first pair is collinear and the second pair is collinear, for the second pair there are 2 points contributing from the first pair, which makes sense, and we can conclude that is collinear if 2 pairs are matching each other. Okay. So these are A+ level questions, okay? So you have to digest it right and go home and think about what we discussed today. Okay. So independence and dependency, okay? What is independence and dependency?
We did this.
Yeah, we did. We'll have a little brush up.
Yeah.
What is dependence and independence? I know you.
Vectors that can be expressed in terms of other vectors.
Say it again.
Vectors that can be expressed in terms of other vectors. That's a dependence.
What is
Isn't it just the vector that can be represented by one vectors?
one vector can be represented by another set of vectors, right? Now, what we are talking about linear dependency and independency, right? Why we put linear dependency and independency? So what they are saying, suppose there are vectors here, u vector, v vector, w vector, r vector. So there are 4 vectors in the pool, right? One vector, you pick any vector, you pick u vector. If you can write u vector in terms of other vectors like m times v vector, l times whatever, w vector, and q times r vector, right? So if this is going to satisfy, we say these vectors are linearly dependent. Linearly what? Dependent. Now, if I write, look, okay, I'll say more, yeah.
Let's say 0 vector.
Okay. So if I write something like this, now you can see here A, M1, L1, Q1, those are coefficients, right? Right? Yeah? So, if you, this is a relation, right, between the vectors, right? My question is, if I write a statement like that, is it dependent or independent? Huh? These are the things that you have to go home and ask. Not this form always, okay, I'm good. It's not like that.
They're dependent.
Huh?
They're dependent.
Dependent? Why?
Yeah, sorry. Because let's say
Well, it's a one vector in terms of other two vectors.
yeah,
Huh?
It's one vector in terms of other two.
What vector?
Yeah, zero
Huh?
vector.
Huh?
Zero vector.
But zero vector is not in the pool. You did say.
Oh, well then they're
So
divisible
the-
not linearly then. Something, that's something else.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it?
Zero vector doesn't have magnitude or direction.
That's fine, but the zero vector is not defined in the pool, right? So dependency means
It's not linear.
dependency means if you pick one vector from the pool, you should be able to write that vector from the rest of the vectors, right? Zero vector is like zero vector, right? We are not going to count
Well,
it.
you could rearrange it.
you three also.
You can rearrange it such
Brendan?
No.
This is what typically you get. Many things you will get.
No, because there's a coefficient in front of.
Guys, can't you see something here very easy? If you subject AU, can't you take the rest of the stuff to the other side?
Exactly. Exactly.
They will set traps like that. If you isolate AU vector here, right? So you move the rest of the stuff to the right hand side. So that's going to be M1V minus L1W minus Q1R, right? Then you might wonder, like, okay, I have minus values over here, so it's not going to be dependent, right? But what are those MLQ values? Coefficients, right? What are the coefficients? Can they be negative?
Yeah.
They can be negative. Or once you have that one, you can do, okay, you can divide the whole thing by A, like that.
Yeah.
So then U vector is equal to, I can say minus M1 divided by A, I can say M1 prime P, plus minus L1 divided by A, I can say L1 prime W, minus Q1 divided by A, I can put Q1 prime R. See, you get the same as this, right? So they might give you different structures, so we should have the background and understanding to clear the game. All good? So next week, so this question I will give you. Next week I'm going to discuss all the questions, all the past paper questions, Vika questions, everything on polyunity and dependence and independence, and that will be one of the questions in the test. Okay? Let's do the game.